So we're going to put a little bit of that in. Just a splash. That's all you need. Oh, that is so good. Oh, yum. Oh, Hello, I'm Paul, and this is Paul Plays with Fire. Welcome. Today's episode is dedicated to this cookbook and the person that gave it to me. It was the mid-1990s. She and I were playing in a band together. I was kind of shy on possessions, and she gave me this cookbook to help me out. Steph, if you ever see this, thank you. I've hung on to the book all these years because of one recipe, and that's lentil vegetable soup. I've made that countless times. It is so good. It is so hearty and filling. It's delicious. And with that, we're going to make a beer bread in the Dutch oven. So let's get busy. We're going to start with the beer bread because it takes a little longer. We're going to put together some flour and some baking powder and some salt and some sugar. And we're going to mix that all up. Mix up the dry ingredients pretty good. Oops. Then we're going to add some butter. It was previously melted. Hope we don't end up making biscuits by accident. And about a half a can of beer. I'm not sure what happened to the other half. Mix that up. Look how nice and foamy that's getting. That's the magic of adding the beer. Let's get that cooking. Okay, here we go. We got our Dutch oven on the fire. It's all nice and warmed up. Got some oil in it. We'll just add that in. Kind of smush that around a little bit. And as usual, we'll hope for the best. Now we're going to put that top on there. Put some coals on it so that it bakes about at 350. And then maybe snuggle these coals up next to it too. Okay, about 45 minutes. Okay, we got our big Dutch oven on the fire. And to get started with the soup, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a bunch of bacon in that pan. There we go. You know, I said gravy on a campfire was good. So is bacon on a campfire. Someday we'll make breakfast out here. Yum. Now we're going to go work on some vegetables. Okay, now we're going to cut up some vegetables for the soup. We're going to start with onion. Let's talk about lentils a little bit while we're cutting. Lentils are a legume, a bean basically. They grow on vines just like beans. They grow in pods just like beans, and they're frank, for all intents and purposes, they are beans. When I first started making this soup back in the 90s, I'd never really heard of lentils. It was pretty exotic for me at the time. But it's just, I was dabbling in low meat dishes or no meat dishes, and this can be done without meat, although we got bacon on the stove right now, or on the fire right now. It wouldn't have to be there. It's hearty and a filling soup even without any meat. Sometimes I also use ham in it, or pork, or whatever, leftover pork chops. You can use any kind of leftover meat in it. And for that matter, you can, although I'm putting carrots and onions and celery in it today, you could use any kind of vegetables. Lentils are also huge on the Indian subcontinent. Many people over there are vegetarians for various reasons, And lentils are delicious and filling and a good source of protein for people that don't eat meat. And lentil curry, if you ever get a chance to try lentil curry, you should do it because it is outstanding. The original recipe from the cookbook that we're following today, or not following, it calls for just taking a bunch of boiling water, throw in the bacon, the vegetables, the lentils, throw it all in together and just boil it together. And I have done it that way. It's pretty good. But, you know, we're not about that here on Paul Plays with Fire. We're about building flavors and building layers. And we do that by cooking something and then cooking something else in it and then cooking something else around it and then deglazing it with something else. And that's kind of what we're going to do with this. And as soon as that bacon gets done, we'll add these in. Well, that bacon took a long time to cook. But I think we're finally getting there. Oh, look at that, yeah. Whew. Yum. Kind of let the fire go out on me. That'll do it. Now, you don't have to get all this bacon out of here, but it'll make some room for getting those veggies going. And we're not going to get all that beautiful bacon fat out of there either. It's going to just become a part of the soup. We'll get some of that out, but not all of it. Remember, fat is flavor. Just don't tell your doctor. Okay, that's good. Moving right along. Get those veggies going. I don't know what it is with this fire today. It's kind of slow. Okay, we'll let those cook for a little bit and we'll be back. So meanwhile, gotta rotate our bread again. So the bread's almost done, but that's okay. There you go. Remember, rotate when you're cooking with cast iron. Well, we think we got those vegetables right where we want them. And for those of you that were worried about my cholesterol, I did take some more of that bacon fat out of there. It was just a little bit too much. So we have just enough to finish off the soup now. So we're now going to add some tomatoes. Some salt. Some pepper. A little fresh oregano. And some minced garlic. And we'll go ahead and add the bacon back. Give that a stir, then it'll be time to add the lentils and water. Vegetables are, the mix is right where we want it. So we've added our lentils, and now we're adding 8 quarts of water, mostly to the bowl. We'll give that a stir. Oh, that's looking perfect. Just where we want it. And this didn't take very long. Unlike traditional legumes that we think of like beans and such, that doesn't take any soaking. You just cook them straight in about 45 minutes or so to taste, depending on how hot your fire is. They're ready to eat. So we'll see. We may even put the lid on this and we'll see how it goes. My fire was being a little skitterish. So after I got the bread out of there, I had to reconfigure it and put a grill underneath it. Maybe we can get some heat going there. It was going to take forever to get this done. So hopefully we're on the right track now. Okay, I think we are finally done here. It took a while wrestling with that fire to get it where I wanted to be, but it looks good. It's delicious. It smells good. Look at that. A couple good scoops here. and you know what happens next. Okay, here we go. We got our lentil vegetable soup fresh off the fire. Oh, doesn't it look delicious? Steamy and hot. Got carrots and celery and onions and tomatoes and yum. Oh, that's delicious. And bacon, don't forget the bacon. And then we got our beer batter bread, or beer bread, which kind of turned into maybe dumpling bread. I'm not really sure. The one thing I've realized is that measuring in baking is important. I'm not a big measuring guy, but measuring is important in baking, because sometimes you end up with, you know, dumpling bread. So anyway, it'll be fine. So we're going to sprinkle little scallions on there. Oh, one more thing I forgot to add. Always add a little white wine vinegar, because at the very end, because it really does freshen it up. It makes a big difference. So we're going to put a little bit of that in, just a splash. That's all you need. Oh, it smells delicious now. The vinegar really wakes it up. Oh, that is so good. Oh, yum. Oh, Try a little more of that dumpling bread. Yum. That's actually pretty good. Well, this has been Paul Plays with Fire, and we had fun today. We had a good time. We made lentil vegetable soup, and we made beer bread. So that's all for tonight. We'll see you next time. Hey, at least we got done before dark. And if you can find it, to subscribe and like the video, it does help us out. So thanks. See you later.